It's February the 5th, 2025. I almost forgot what year we're in because it's been so great so far. It's like exciting my mind of how great everything has been. It's just like wins day after day. And I feel like the middle of the week is like a perfect time to come and do these lives. And then they get uploaded to my YouTube anyway. But the middle of the week seems to be good. So I want to start off with, I saw all the Democrats in office. They were out there doing their little powwow outside the Capitol, all huddling up and, calling for war against, MAGA, because they don't like that Elon Musk ended U.S. aid. If you just look up U.S. aid, you would see all the money that's been funded to such corrupt things all over, specifically in other countries. But you're talking about Al Qaeda. You're talking about money funded to trans plays, trans whatever, all kinds of different tranny things that are going on in different countries in Iraq. And we're funding all this money from USAID is funding all this money. I wonder why. It's called throwbacks. So you fund this money for all these bullshit, unnecessary things, and then all these politicians, they get throwbacks. So they get richer off of it. Okay? So no wonder they're out there crying, Elon Musk, he paid for Donald Trump to be the president. Elon Musk, he's trying to take control. He needs to be stopped. All Elon Musk is doing is great things for the United States of America. He obviously helped Donald Trump with that money, and that fixed a lot of things, especially not having another stolen election. But Elon Musk is nothing but a great person, and all he's doing is hurting these corrupted politicians from making extra money on the side off of this money that's been thrown away again to these foreign countries and to terrorist groups like Al Qaeda. Go figure. So beautiful beautiful work by Elon Musk. Keep up the work. Keep up the great work, Mr. Musk. It was actually a hilarious moment for me today. I was working and I saw a bulletin that came up that said that Mitch McConnell took another fall down the steps. And I thought that was hilarious. Now, I'm not a warp-minded person. I'm really not. And I don't, pray for other people to get, injured or fall down steps. But I do believe there's a thing called karma. And Mitch McConnell has karma coming to him. This is what we're talking about when President Trump is talking about globalist deep state swamp rats. Mitch McConnell is at the top of the list. He has been a globalist for a long time. He tried to play the part of being a hard right Republican the last time, 2016, when Trump was in office. And he tried to make it like, he's all hate lefty and all this shit. Meanwhile, he's a globalist. And all globalists are good for their pockets. They're not good for their specific countries that they represent. They're good for their own pockets and, getting rich off of all these corrupt doings, all this money laundering stuff, especially that McConnell's been involved with, and all the bad mouthing that he did on Trump all these last few years. And now all of a sudden, he's sort of trying to bend the knee back, but he hasn't bent the knee fully. He's still trying to be a hard ass on some of the, finalizing some of the confirmations of Trump's picks. But McConnell's on his way out of office anyway, and then hopefully he's on his way to jail unless he breaks his entire body first, which hopefully today he did. Hopefully today he broke his body when he took that fall down the steps. That would actually be very positive. So fuck Mitch McConnell, okay? And I laughed hard when I heard that he fell down those steps. So, on to the next topic. We have President Trump signing an executive order today that's banning all trannies from entering women's sports. Isn't that a positive thing that men dressed as women can't, or that think that they're women, or I don't know, they change their body part, but they still have their testosterone, their male testosterone, that they can't come into a women's sport and take advantage of an actual woman, a woman that was born a woman. That is a positive fucking thing. So all these trannies have no advantages anymore. If you're a tranny, you compete against men. Or let's rephrase, because there are some actual women that pose to be men, trannies, and then mostly we have men posing to be women trannies. So they both need to be in their specific groups, regardless. Women with women, men competing with men. It's very fair, and it's total common sense. So that's a positive thing. Next up, we have President Trump wanting to take over the Gaza Strip. Another positive thing. God, this guy does all positive things. So all we're trying to do in Gaza is make it to where people that have been, living through all this war and bloodshed and all this torment for all these last years, that they actually have like a good life going forward. So yeah, he wants to build maybe some homes, maybe some hotels, maybe another Trump golf course, maybe another Trump hotel, maybe some nice food areas. There's nothing but positive things in the United States taking over the Gaza Strip. So anybody that is against that, you have brain impairment. So you don't see the big picture, and you don't see why Trump wants to do it, is going to do it, and has backing to do it from all these other countries. They're all behind him. So in taking over that Gaza Strip. So that's nothing but a positive thing. So we'll see how long that's going to take. Who knows? You may have to clean out Hamas first. I mean, there may be more fighting and more cleaning out before the Gaza Strip is actually officially taken over, but it's going to happen. What else do we want to talk about? There's really not much to talk about. I just really want to touch on this transgender, this tranny shit that's going on here. This has become totally insane. Okay, so of course they've been totally fucking around with. They've been bringing politics into these music ceremonies, these movie ceremonies like the Oscars or the Grammys. They've been doing this for a long time, especially since Trump has been in office. Okay. Again, the guy that's trying to do good for our country and not good for other countries. So I wouldn't watch 1 second of the Grammy Awards. I would rather be blind than watch the Grammy Awards or the Oscars or any of these polluted shows. But of course, I see all these posts that come on my page, highlighting these events or things that people said, or it shows a clip or something like that. And of course, I shared the post today of Lady Gaga getting up there and, having her little tranny speech, tranny rights and all this stuff. These people are very sick-minded people, okay? Now, again, me personally, you're listening to a person that has no problem with any sexual preference person, any race, any religion. I'm the least racist. I'm the least worried about if a guy wants to be a woman or a woman wants to be a man, unless it's kids. Now, kids that don't know what they're doing, that are not able to make their own decisions, I have a major problem with that. If you're, of age and you make your own choices and you seem to think that you're a girl and you want to be a boy or vice versa, I could give a fuck less. Me personally. Now, I'm sure there's other people in the world, probably a lot, that probably don't agree with what I'm saying. My problem, okay, is where they have taken and ruined DEI, okay? I put posts about this the other day. I typed it out instead of speaking it out. But basically, they've highlighted, and I'd say this is strictly the Democrats' game plan, was to take gays, to take trannies, and specifically black people, right? And they wanted to highlight them on a high pedestal above anybody else. So like we're gonna single these out because we feel like we have the advantage with these classifications. The Latino vote, I don't know. They felt like they were losing it, or they felt like it was a waste of time. You know, I don't know, the white male or whatever, they think your white women, they think we're all for, or mostly all Republicans. I don't know what they think, but they don't highlight us. They highlight those specific groups, and they put them on a high pedestal. Now, if you look up the meaning of DEI, the actual meaning of DEI is where we're all considered equal. Like, everybody, every race, every religion, every sexual preference, we're all the same. Like, we're all considered the same. So basically, when you walk into an interview, okay, for a job, you're not being hired on your race. You're not being hired because you're gay or you're a tranny or you're white or black. You're being hired because you're the best possible candidate for that position. Okay? So when you take these single groups and you put them on this higher pedestal, okay, like they should be looked at as gods compared to everybody else, it causes a lot of tension with other people that see what the fuck's going on. And even those same groups, the same people in those groups, and I have plenty of black friends, okay, and they will tell you that all this shit, Black Lives Matter, that was funded by George Soros, the way that the Democrats have taken it and put it on a pedestal to try to like put it to their advantage, they disagree and they say it's total bullshit. But this is what it's come down to, okay? And then you have the transgenders that will play into this. Like there's certain ones that will be funded probably or being paid extra money off to get up and, you know, speak on programs and, you know, protest on the streets and say, oh, you know, we're being held down. And, you know, I mean, give me a fucking break already. It's enough, man. It is a fuck enough. It's just enough. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, the majority of people in this world could care less about transsexuals. They could care less about if you're gay. I have people in my family that are gay. I don't care. I get along with my family, and I respect if they're gay. I could care less. So I'm just saying, this is all being overhyped, and it's destroyed DEI, which is why President Trump has totally wants the DEI codes out of everything. He wants DEI to quit being brought up, quit being referenced to, because it's ruined the true meaning of DEI. Again, you're hiring people not by like true qualifications, if they're smart enough or if they're qualified enough for a certain job. There are hires, many hires that are being made because of somebody's race or somebody's sexual preference over somebody that might actually be a lot better and more qualified to get that position of a certain job or whatever. This is what it's come to, okay? And you still have people, too many people in this world with polluted brains that just believe everything that the fake news media that's being funded by Soros, okay, the majority of them, being funded by far lefty or globalists, to put out propaganda, to put out lies, all for their agenda. And like I would say, most of these politicians are probably racist. I'd say, I shouldn't say that actually. I shouldn't say most of them are racist. There's definitely people though that are racist. There's definitely people that are, you know, promoting like, oh, you know, say like Black Lives Matter, and then they in return probably like despise the race. They probably despise black people for whatever reason, or they're promoting you know, gay rights, or they're promoting transgender rights, and they probably hate these people. Like, but they're doing it again for their political affiliation, and they think it's going to help them at the end of the day in the voting booth. When everybody finally wakes up and sees what's going on, it's very simple. When you're a politician, if you're doing your job correctly, and I've always said this, is that it should be an America First agenda. Okay, so no matter what party you're with, the pledge should be America First, not helping other countries first. Okay, the minute that you have a politician that's willing to go and fund other countries before they're willing to help out their own, you know that they're doing corrupt shit. It's plain and simple. There's no ands, ifs, and whats about it. They're doing corrupt shit. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing in most of the things that they tell you, or that they try to. The same reason why they've ruined DEI. They're just trying to benefit. The Democrats are trying to get the votes of those specific categories: black people, gay rights, or transgenders. And they're trying, and they figure if we put them on this high pedestal, we're always going to get their votes. And that's not the case, okay? Because I know plenty of black people that voted for Donald Trump, okay? So you're losing. And I know several gay people that have voted for Donald Trump also. I can't tell you I know any transgenders that have, because I don't know any transgenders. But again, me personally, I could give two shits. Like, if you're a tranny, if you're gay, if you're white, if you're black, if you're Hispanic, if you're yellow, purple, green, pink, whatever. I could give two shits. Everybody, in reality, okay, so when you're coming out and you're speaking to people, they should all be classified the same way. There should be not one race put up on a higher pedestal over another. There should not be one sex put up on a higher pedestal over another. Okay, because when they do that, they're doing it for an agenda. Okay, they have a specific reason why they're doing it, because it's not right to do. Okay, everybody, again, should be looked at as equal. When you're talking about, oh, we're trying to help our society, we're trying to help the public, everybody should be included. Not we're trying to stand for trans rights first and have these fucking ceremonies at these music awards with, you know, these rainbow flags everywhere, and you know, this is what these events have come to. And I haven't watched any of this shit in years, and I never will again, I don't think, unless things dramatically change. I don't watch any of these movie awards. I don't watch any of these music awards. It's all shit to me. It's all shit, and most of the people that are in this business are all shit, sadly. I think there is a lot of good ones, but there's a lot of bad ones too. Just like in politics, just like in life. There's going to be a lot of good people, and there's going to be a lot of bad people. Anyway, so I think I'm done with, I think this is pretty much what I wanted to say in terms of politics. The week has been going kind of smooth. President Trump, he was back home for a couple of days this past week, back in Palm Beach. He was actually in Miami at a point last week for a Republican event, but then came home for the weekend. This Sunday, he'll be at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Hopefully he gets to see an Eagles victory. I'll be cheering for the Eagles. I don't want to see the Chiefs win a third straight. I definitely want to see the Chiefs lose. What else? So Chicago Bulls, I'll bring up, traded Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, really, he was a good Bull, you know, really more of an offensive, big offensive scorer for them. Not great defensively. He did turn it over a lot on the offensive side. But he still was a very good Chicago Bull. So they've been talking for a few years about trading him. He finally got traded. Also, they got a lot of young talent on that team, guys that were on the bench that, you know, should be in the starting role positions, or could be, I should say. So it was a point to free up some cap money to, you know, move along, put some of these young guys in higher positions, give them more minutes, you know, let them build their careers. So I understand why they traded Zach. I mean, he was making $42 million. That's the other thing. He was making the highest salary on the Bulls team. And, you know, I guess when you're paying a guy in that range, in the $40 million range, $50 million range, you want them to do well on both ends. You know, you want them to give great effort defensively and be, you know, a good offensive player. So again, he was a really good offensive player, just not a good defensive player. I don't know if I would say that he didn't try all the time. I think he tried some of the time. You know, some guys just aren't made for it. I mean, he wasn't the biggest guy. I don't know. So it's what the NBA has become. It's not like the old days where, you know, guys were giving it their all on the defensive end. But to win championships, you have to play some kind of defense. You can't just go out there and rely on outscoring a team 125 to 120 and think that you're going to win the championship playing every game like that. And again, you can give effort and guys will still make shots if you give tremendous effort. But most of the time, if you give tremendous effort and you make it harder on the opponent, it's going to fare better for you in the long run as a team if you have that defensive mindset. You're going to cause, you know, guys to miss. You're going to make guys uncomfortable. You know, but if you leave guys wide open and, you know, with no pressure, it's the opposite. They're going to get comfortable. They're going to get in sync. They're going to feel like they can make every shot. So anyway, Mattis Buzelis, the kid that we just drafted.